Hey guys, quick note before the podcast. Hope you guys are having a great week. I just want to let you guys know that if you have any feedback, I'd really appreciate that. You guys get a hold of me on LinkedIn or my email. That's joe@codessa.io. That's I and the O at the end. Just let me know what your feedback is, what questions you want to hear, guests, all that good stuff. I'll keep giving you guys great content and hopefully keep this thing going. All right, have a great day, guys. Now to the podcast. Hey business family, welcome to another episode of Joe Momo Presents. I'm super excited to have Brent here with me. I'll let him introduce himself, but let's get right into it. Brent.
Awesome, thank you. Thanks for having me. My name is Brent Ellergodt. My company is Ellergodt Design. We are a custom home design firm in Calgary, and we provide custom home design services to mostly custom home builders and developers on the residential side, so custom homes, high-end renovations, multifamily, and then we also provide those types of services to private clients, homeowners, landowners, those kind of things that approach us through home shows, website, that kind of thing.
Oh, really cool, really cool. Well, I saw that you guys, I guess you started the business in 2003, so that's 17 years, so lots of wisdom there.
About when you were born, right? Yeah. Just kidding.
Pretty close.
Yeah. It feels like it with all the people I'm involved with now. They're just, my senior draftsman designer said to me the other day, I noticed when you graduated from SAIT, in '86, that's when I was born, and it was like, it just made me feel very old. So.
Right. So let us know about your story. Like, how's the journey like for you? I guess there's lots of trials and tribulations from.
Where to start? I'll try to jump in. If you have any other questions, just interrupt. But
sure.
I'd say so. Apart from, I won't get into details of being born and raised overseas, but basically I've been in Calgary for a long time, since I was about grade 6. And but after high school, I attended SAIT, took their architectural technology program, graduated in 1986. So from there, I went and worked for a small residential architectural firm here in Calgary. Went on to a few other jobs before my wife and I moved out to Vancouver, and had a really good experience there with a design company and then an interior design company. And then at that point, we realized we would never be able to afford having a family out there and actually, maybe owning something apart from renting basement suites and stuff like that. Even though we loved it out there, it's a great place to live, but kind of expensive. So we moved back to Calgary, and I don't even know, a few years after that, and kind of worked again for some architectural firms. Kind of started working for production builders back then, Jamin, Cedar Glen, Homes by Abbey, and Cardell. Other ones after that, and then at some point, I guess, like you said, in about 2003, even though I'd been thinking about it for years before that, it was kind of this perfect storm, I guess, of opportunity. The economy was pretty good, and I was almost making as much money on the side, moonlighting, doing projects for builders and stuff like that, as I was during the day. So it made it pretty easy for myself. So I kind of had it easy jumping into, I guess, the entrepreneurial world, and basically quit. And I was fortunate that the MNP, the accounting firm, they have a entrepreneurial program that I was able to get into, and so that helped me for the first 3 months, sort of taking classes half day, and then trying to make some money in the afternoon and evenings. But anyway, so I had it pretty easy getting into it back in 2003, and so like you said, been around for whatever that is, 17 years or so.
Time flies when you're having fun. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what type of things did you wish you knew when you started your career? Like what?
That's a great question.
Things to avoid if you.
I think one of the things that, I don't know when I learned this in my career, but I remember someone I don't know if it was a business book or just a conversation with maybe a consultant or something like that, and someone was talking about, as an entrepreneur, we have all these hats to wear, and I think that was probably something that I wish I understood a bit better, especially the first few years of having my own business. Just realizing, and I don't want to be, it's not overwhelming, it's just realizing that that there's the marketing guy, now you're the sales guy, now you're the admin guy returning emails and being the secretary, and then you're doing this and you're out, on the weekend. Like I said, I was at the Reno show. Well, on Tuesday I was there with my draftsman setting it up, and here I'm not the most handy guy, so you do whatever it takes, right? So you're whether it's long hours or you're learning something new, and I'm not the most techie guy, so it's a bit of a challenge, and fortunately I've surrounded myself with really good staff, and my wife is a lot more technical than I am, so she's helped me on that kind of side over the years. I think one of the, and I know this wasn't quite your question, but I know that one of the best piece of advice I got, I think it was like literally like one of the Inc. or one of the business magazines, was they'd interviewed like 10 CEOs and of huge corporations in the States, and one of them, I believe it was, I don't know if it's Johnson & Johnson or GE or something, and the guy said, the best advice he could give was, surround yourself with people better than you. And I thought, okay, here's this guy that's making probably $5 million a year, fairly well off, and he was humble enough to say, I've got, I know I'm not good at everything. I think that's back to the hats as well. You kind of feel like you're as an entrepreneur, especially young people. But when I was young years ago, when I started my company, not cocky, but you think you got a lot, on the go, and you got it all together, and you realize after a few years of ups and downs, it's like, okay, how can I be a bit more humble, realistic, and realize, okay, let's find people around me that like an accountant and a lawyer, and just people who can, maybe a mentor, maybe a business coach, whatever it might be, that can just, fill in those gaps that, I just can't know everything, and I don't, I know I'm a really creative guy, I'm a great problem solver, but other than that, I'm pretty useless. So. But don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
No one will listen to this, right?
Exactly. We'll keep it down low. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so I guess when you were navigating and you gave really good advice, has there been any big failures that you kind of learned from? Anything that sticks out?
Let me see.
Put you on the spot.
One thing that comes to mind is this was probably pretty close to when I started my own company. I was approached by someone in Calgary. I won't get into any detail, and this person gave me this big story, and I'm not saying was even a a lie or anything, but I've got I've bought 6 lots in Mount Royal, and they're worth a lot of money. I need your help to, design them. I've got some clients from overseas that are looking at buying them, and we're talking about fees, and it was like, all of a sudden this, the dollar signs are going off, like, oh my goodness, this is going to be it. This is my, this is going to be, I'm going to make, hundreds of thousands of dollars this year. It's going to be amazing, and literally, over months and months, and I sort of throw in some free design work. I remember talking to my wife about that after that, and realizing that nothing came of it. And it wasn't that it was a bad person or a colleague or anything like that. More of just the fact that I was putting all my eggs in one basket. So it's basically being realistic, seeing the opportunity in that, and taking, putting in some, like in that literally sweat and some I guess free time to kind of say you're trying to gain a relationship and trying to show you really want that project or work with that client long term. And then in the end, literally, she stopped. I couldn't get a hold of her anymore. So it was kind of like, oh, that was so disappointing. And I was thinking, oh no, I think part of it's just the advice, or kind of, I don't know if it's a fail, but definitely my mind was already the money was already in the bank. It was like, oh, this is going to change my life. We can now move to Mount Royal. It's going to be, this is excellent. So I think part of that is just, taking, one moment at a time, in a way, one day at a time, and just, if opportunities come up, just keep that opportunity as a reality. Like, where really is it in your sales process or, pipeline, I guess, and sort of say, have hope, have a positive attitude towards things. I'm not a downer guy. Like, it's not like, oh, life sucks and, don't be an entrepreneur. It's like, no, when an opportunity comes up, just be realistic, keep plugging along, try, go after those projects, go after those clients. But just realize that, okay, some guy, someone's going to come along with that, the end all and be all, and then, just kind of say, hey, it's a great opportunity, but hey, I've got these other clients I need to look after as well, and don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, exactly.
And I did, so I can tell you that's a pretty big fail for a long time ago.
Yeah. But it's tough though. Like you kind of see the starry eyes, and you just want to get it right away. But you just have to be patient. And kind of work
absolutely.
through your process.
And be sort of just, I get back to reality and hopefully realistic, somewhere in the middle there, where you see the positive opportunity, but not get too far ahead of yourself, because you can be. I mean, I know I probably look back and I probably missed opportunities that were coming, that were really there, and that I just sort of put on the beside the sort of almost let them pass by, and then I missed that opportunity because I was so focused on something else, kind of as the big ticket, like the lottery sort of thing,
It's tough, but okay. So what type of unique skills has helped you become successful in your career path? You touched on persistence and patience previously, but what other kind of stuff?
I think one of the things that I've learned over the probably especially being on my own for the 16, 17 years is I think I'm really good at relationships, and I'm not saying I've got hundreds of friends or anything like that, but it's more of the people that I have a relationship with, especially business-wise, they're really important to me, and so I try to not only maintain them, but let them know that they're very important to me. So any of my, I hope, custom home builders and renovators and people like that in the industry that are not only providing us with work and providing us with clients, but just colleagues of mine in the industry. I mean, I hope they know, just from my attitude and the way I not only provide them with a biz service, like a profitable service or a money-based service, but if they phone up, I just want to help them. I want to, provide them, and I want them to succeed as I want to succeed. I think also I'm a very team-oriented person. So to me, I realize I wouldn't be where I'm at without, all the way back to my parents and siblings and, all the opportunities and the mentors and people I've had in my life. And so some of that, I think, helps me as I sort of look around and say, if I have any success whatsoever, I know it wouldn't be just because of me. Like, there's other people around me. So how do I be grateful and have an attitude of kind of more Zen attitude of kind of like, hey, we're all in this together. So like, there's people out there within the residential design and construction industry that they have a really great attitude of, let's all just work together and make this industry a better industry. And I think those are the kind of people that I want to have relationships with, because they're the ones that motivate and really inspire me. So again, I'm way off topic, but I think I think the ability of that's probably why I'm probably not the most successful custom home designer out there, because there's other younger and more ambitious people. I'm more of just, hey, I just want to help people, and that's can come across like, is he really passionate about? Yes, I am, but my passion is more for just helping people, and it sounds very giving. I know it sounds like I'm just a saint, but sometimes I have to take that attitude and translate it into a bit. I probably could work on my ambition, work my ass off type attitude. I'm kind of pretty laid back that way.
It's never a bad thing to be building rapport with people and building relationships. I find like that's kind of the most important aspect of business.
Yeah, and I'd probably just add to that. What I found over the years is that even when you're making that effort, or you sort of feel like you've made that effort for a while, and you think, oh, okay, well, I guess that's not going to work out, or all of a sudden, I'm not saying in every case, but a lot of those cases, kind of like people just come out of the woodwork, and it's kind of like, either I heard of you through this other person that you've kept in contact with, or literally people have just come back to me like a year after, kind of going, hey, remember me? You've been trying to get a hold of me, you've been really, staying in contact with me. I'm wondering if we can get together, and all of a sudden they're my next best client, So, and again, hopefully it's a genuine thing too. It's not just based on that sales side of, they're in my sales funnel, but they really are. Hey, these are people I want to work with. I really get along with them. Or, boy, they do great work. I want to be a part of that. I want to provide design service to a builder like this, or a client, or a developer, or whatever. So,
wow,
yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah, I think one piece of advice I got was try and do business with people you want to have drinks with afterwards.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's kind of cool to hear what you're saying.
That's great.
It seems like you kind of follow that approach as well.
I like the drink aspect of that.
Drink always helps.
Yeah, that's right.
So I guess what, kind of back to your personal career life, what right now are you curious about? Like what...
Wow, that is deep. I'd say probably, I'm, as you can tell, I'm older than you. I'm 55, and so to me, like, I think I'd like to think it's not midlife crisis. That would be good, actually. If this is midlife, I'm going to be 110. That's pretty good when I die. I mean, but I think for me, what I'm kind of going through, just mostly personally, but I guess a little bit professionally, is just being at that age where I just want to be really aware. Like, that sounds a bit corny, but it really, like, I think you can go through life really unaware of what's around you, and so to me, I think there's just things that I want to know more about, and I'm not just talking about knowledge, but not like head knowledge and being, I'm really smart, or I now have read all these business books and aren't I amazing? I've implemented this and this and this, even though that'd be great. But I think it's more just like personally, just saying, I want to understand myself as a man, as a human being, as a father, as just literally sort of know, like. And know who I truly am as a person, and then I can, from awareness comes, I guess, the kind of knowledge I want, which is really about knowing who I am, and then as a result, I can be a better human being because of that, instead of just kind of like, I'm a man, so I must be this. Well, no, maybe I'm a different kind of man, or maybe I'm not that kind of guy, like that stereotypes out there, or maybe I am exactly like the stereotype, but that's okay because that's who I truly am. Am I the macho guy? I don't know, but maybe I'm whatever it is, like man, husband, whatever. And I think I think so often in our world today, like, we're all running around trying to be like everyone else, and I know I struggle with that sometimes too. So I just want to be as aware of who I am and say I'm unique in myself, and let's just be happy with that, and kind of then also be aware of weaknesses and other things that I do need to be working on, so that I'm striving to be a better person versus just thinking I got it all together, because I know I don't. There's a lot to be working on here.
Oh, cool. So you're saying, like, self-awareness is something you kind of look into one of your goals for the future, more self-awareness.
Absolutely, because I think that's where any growth and change comes from, is because if you don't have self-awareness, then I mean, literally, what are you working on? Because you could be kind of like I was for years, just kind of like, hey, I'm okay. That was okay, just being okay. And I'm not saying that we have to be, striving for excellence at every moment of our lives, but, sometimes we have to rest and, that sort of thing. But I think there is at times when we, the more aware we are of who we truly are, the more we can move on and make those little tweaks and changes and be just how much easier life is when we can just be ourselves. And absolutely. I think we'd all get along a lot better than, because we're not all trying to get out there with our chests pumped out and stuff like that. So
the fake it till you make it. I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that saying. Just be yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think, again, I'd like to think that people respond to me when I'm being my true, genuine self. They go, "Oh, good." If someone doesn't like me because I'm too laid back or whatever, that's fine. I mean, I understand that. Not everyone's going to like me. Maybe there's a lot of people who don't. But at least the people who respond to me, if I'm being myself, you feel like, oh, good, they like me for the right reason, I guess. And you're going to have those kind of really positive relationships as a result.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure right now, so far so good. Your vibes are pretty cool, so we'll see though. Okay, so what are kind of back to the career stuff, what type of myths in your industry do you wish to debunk, or something that's misunderstood about your industry?
One little thing, and again, maybe this will spur some other thoughts in my head, but one of the things I know in the residential design and construction industry is we're kind of a wasteful industry. Like, I mean, we're as in construction especially, I'm not blaming it on construction, but it is a very demo a house and just throw it away, and and then in construction, there's just a lot of waste. So that's one thing that I think, and I know we're moving in that direction to be more, recycling and reusing and stuff like that. So I think there's definitely, changes that are happening slowly, but that's something that I know definitely could be improved. On the debunking, I would think, it's funny, when someone came to my booth at the Reno show on the weekend, and I think I was wearing my glasses at the time or something, and he said, "Oh, you look like a designer." And I was like, I'm not sure what that meant. I was like, what? I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not. I'm not sure if that's like, you look funky or you look like an idiot. I don't know. But that's not a huge debunking, but I mean, to me, it's kind of like one of those things where I've seen, creative people, designers of any, industrial, architectural, interior design, whatever it is. And I guess some people try to, they actually fit into that cool, funky, whatever it is vibe. I don't know what I fit into. I don't know. I look okay, I guess. But I'm not very fashionable, and I don't really care that much. But it was just, I guess, probably one of those things of, sometimes we do look like our career, or we do, try to fit into some mold. And I know I don't make much effort. And my wife sometimes says to me, maybe you're not going to wear that today, are you? And it's like, oh, don't worry, I don't have any meetings,
Right. I'm just in the office.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. One of the other things I was thinking from, a debunk, especially on the residential side, I try to implement this into my company and how we internally in my company design homes for people is making sure that our clients realize that their home is their home, and it's not like I'm not going to impose my exterior or what I'd like in an exterior. I like contemporary, so your house should be contemporary, or I'm telling you what a home should be. And I think there are, let's just say, creative people or designers within industries that kind of force their perspective on people. And I think the attitude that I have is very collaborative. So it's really all about the client. It's their home. I'm going to give them direction, but I'm not here to tell them what they do. Do your homework. Figure out what means home to you, whether from an exterior style, or do you like an open house or open plan, or more open or more segmented, or what means home to you. That's what your home should be. That's what a custom home is, not about go to a if so and so designed it, then it must be really cool. That's what I want my home to be. Well, no, here's your opportunity to have your home designed by a professional. Do it, just get involved and have your home specifically for your needs, not someone else's or what someone else's opinion is. I think that's maybe the myth out there. It's like, if someone goes and shops at a certain store, well, they might want a brand, and there's nothing wrong with that. It could be colorful, it could be a certain Nike swoosh or something, whatever's important. On our side, I think there definitely are people who would say, oh, I want this architect or this designer to design my home. And to me, if someone came to me and said, I want an Ellergodt Design designed home, I'd say, yeah, great, we can do that. But without your collaboration, without your involvement, and you making these decisions, it's not your home, so don't let me take over here, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Sometimes it's hard to not get your passion in the way, though. Sometimes you just want to...
you want to kind of jump on, take over, but I think some designers are that way. They kind of want to take over because they want their stamp on it. Here's my name stamped on it, and to me, in the end, I've told people that, not to the client themselves, but afterwards I've realized that that home won't go on my website, and it's not because it's ugly or because it just doesn't reflect maybe what I want to put out there to the world on homes that I've designed. Mm-hmm. But that home, that client was happy with the end result. They were happy with the home that they built, and because it was their home. It's so unique. It was like, maybe not my style, maybe not, what I would have done, but it's their home. And that's, I think, where I'm not saying that the industry needs to change. It's not like it's one way or the other. It's just, my philosophy may be, different than some other designers out there.
Right. No, that's really cool. So speaking about the industry and changing, how has the industry changed? You might have answered this in the previous question, but how's the industry changed in Calgary from when you started to right now?
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind is just sort of almost like material. Like, for example, actually some of it hasn't changed at all. To be honest, it's kind of sad. Like it's not an, I was going to say old boys club. It's not quite that way, but it. Definitely the majority of construction is still stick built, so framers, still the same trades, and not to say that should change, but you realize you'd think that over time it would have, maybe evolved. But for example, there's definitely better materials out there now, whether it's from an exterior cladding perspective. We have, we're not using maybe as much wood, and we're kind of using a cement siding or something like that. So way more options of materials that again add different options on exterior styles, from traditional to modern to whatever it is, right, and everywhere in between, hybrid. So there's definitely floor joists are better made. There's definitely things that are not using just a tree. It's basically taking the components of a tree and making a floor joist or something like that. So there's definitely things are moving in a direction I think that is better, like just better product, hopefully homes that will last longer. I think and this is a great thing, definitely more women in the industry. I mean, like, yeah, I remember when I came out of state, I think there was like 2 girls in my class, and I don't know if either of them kind of got into the industry after school. It was a hard, probably pretty much a struggle. I think there was a few ladies I knew in accounting, really one of the builders, so, yeah. And I think now, I'm not saying it's 50-50, but I think that's definitely a huge improvement in women, women on site, women in the trades, which I think is awesome. Probably adds a lot of value and diversity to the force. And I think, right now we're a staff of 3, and I've got one. My senior designer is a lady, and she's awesome, and she brings just another level of experience and ability and expertise to what we do.
Yeah, it's good to have that diversity.
Absolutely.
If you have too many of the same thing, you can kind of get in the echo chamber of...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So not too many questions left. This one's maybe a little tougher one, but what's one question that you never get asked that you wish you would? Or maybe while you're thinking about that.
Yeah, okay.
I guess you kind of touched on the Inc. magazine, but what other resources have helped you along the way to becoming kind of where you are today?
Yeah, awesome. I think I've been really fortunate over the years, just at probably different times in my career, just having mentors. So, and sometimes that was kind of official, as in, do you want to be my mentor, or to literally just someone who was giving of their time and advice and that sort of thing, someone who I could rely on, or someone who I could ask questions of. Sometimes that was about more personal things like fathering or relationships and stuff like that, and a lot of times it was sort of on the business side or career side, people within, say, the residential design side of things. So I guess my advice or whatever is like, be looking around you. There's people out there that want to give back. I know for me now at my age, there's definitely so much for me to learn, still. So I'm always looking for, I have a business coach. I'm always looking for people to, ask questions of and advice. But I also am at that age where I think I've got a few things to say. And, I'm not an expert, but I definitely think I've got, what do you call it, like water under the bridge. There's experience and knowledge and hopefully wisdom there that I want to start paying back. Like there's those opportunities, like for example, I've had a lot of SAIT students phone me up from architectural technology and say, hey, can I just sit down with you? Or we're doing a project, or can I have some work experience, or those kind of things. And so I know how valuable that is, and the opportunities that I've had, and the willingness that people in the industry and other people have provide for me over the years. And I guess I'm at that point where I'm saying, okay, Brent, you're now at that age. Now you should be, and I've been doing that for the last many years, just kind of, I guess, giving back or realizing, wow, look what I've benefited. How can I now, kind of give that back and help the younger generation or whatever, anyone, not just younger, but just people who are looking for help, because boy, I sure was, blessed, I guess, with so many people that were able to do that for me and willing to give of themselves over the many years. So back to the question. The one question I can think of is, why do I love my job so much as a custom home designer? And I think the answer to that is on one side, it's because projects in residential design kind of turn over fairly quickly. Like it's not like you work for an architectural firm that's doing huge skyscrapers and those kind of things, and they might be working on that for years and years. In residential, we're working on a home or something like that, and it might be a few months. And so I'm kind of like a kid that way, where I have a very short attention span, so I kind of like variety. So it's perfect for me in that area where I know that in a day I'll probably work on 2 or 3 projects, so a little bit here, a little bit there. I'll have a meeting, so a lot of variety, which I like about this side of the industry on the residential side. And then I love, I've realized that a lot of what I love is just problem solving. So not say mathematically or like I'm not a scientist or anything that smart, and I'm not trying to push academics or anything. I never was that good at it. But boy, I'm creative. That's what happens. But I love taking that creative ability and the problem solving and helping someone else, design their home, do their design their renovation or whatever it might be, and apply my abilities in helping someone else. And it's kind of an awesome benefit that I get paid to do that. But to again, on the residential side, I love that because you're working with people and families, either to create or improve their home. And that's something I've always, I think most people would grow up, hopefully if they've had a good childhood and, a good relationship to a home or that sort of thing. I mean, that to me is one of the most important things we have is a home, whether that's an apartment or an actual home, a vacation home, whatever it might be. It's that place where we feel most at home. That's kind of corny. But that place where we, at the end of the day, you go home to relax. You're with your family, your friend, whatever it is. You hang out there. It's where you feel safe. All those kind of things, which is beautiful. On the more commercial side, and nothing against this side of the industry, but you're dealing with a business that wants to build something for their business or office or retail. And again, that's really important in our economy and in a city and culture. But I'm really happy that I'm on the residential side and working with, again, like I said, husband, wife, family, whatever that combination is, to be able to design their home and improve their lifestyle there and in their home environment. So it's I sometimes got to kick, kind of remind myself of that when you get, putting on those hats that I was talking about earlier about, marketing and admin and stuff, and sometimes I get lost in that, and I realize I got to get a little slap in the face every once in a while to say, I get to design people's homes. That's pretty beeping awesome.
Sometimes you just get so lost in the passion, so lost in your little bubble that you forget, like, you're doing something you love. You're doing something that most others don't get to follow their dream, if you will.
Absolutely, and my encouragement to anyone listening there is just find out who you truly are, find out what means something to you, and find a way of not just making money at it, but finding a career that you're going to love the rest of your life. And again, I know careers are shorter these days, as in you might change over often, but at least find direction instead of just jumping from career to career based on what you can make. Find out how do you, because I think there's so many people out there that have made a lot of money because they're so good at it and because they really care. And I think that's what a lot of people respond to, finding people that actually want to help them or want to be provide them with a service that they are really passionate about. I mean, it's always a bonus, I think.
Absolutely. We talked a lot about careers. Kind of on the other side, work-life balance is a thing, I guess. So how does Brent relax after work, or how does?
I relax as much as possible. I have no problem there at all. That's what I was saying before. I'm probably. You should probably ask me. Should you improve on the motivation side? And I don't know if I could put more hours in, but the work life is really important to me. I mean, I think I try to make it important. I mean, I know it's important for my staff too. So we try to have that balance as a group, and I'd say it's just critical. I know sometimes when you have the energy and you say, if I just kept working, I could make more money, and I think that's you could, what's the saying about work while the sun shines or something like that, or make hay or something like that, whatever that is. Make money when the sun shines or something like that. I know that when you have the energy and definitely make the effort, but I think it can be. I know it can be very unhealthy. I know there's times when my wife says to me, "You look burnt out," or "Are you okay?" And they could just tell. And she's a very intuitive person, so I know I'm. I go look in the mirror and look at myself like, "Ooh, my goodness, you look terrible." So I think it's not only just I hope people just realize how important that is so that they can have their downtime. For me, anyway, to answer your question about what I do, I got to admit that my wife and I love YouTube. I'm the YouTube guy. My wife is not. We're more the Netflix and Crave and stuff like that, so we can get binge on certain shows. But I'd say I have no problem. When I get home, I can sort of turn off work. Hang out with my wife and just enjoy a night at home. I like to eat. I like to have a few drinks and just get away from work as much as possible and enjoy. Because then when I come back to work in the morning, I'm glad to be here and hopefully energetic and providing the best service I can to my clients, and hopefully trying to grow the business and again trying to improve and be aware of who we are and become better and better.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. So last couple questions. What is your goal for your company? So if you were to wave a magic wand, what would it look like 10 years from now?
I mean, to me, one of my goals for the company is to become sort of a one-stop shop. So in the residential design industry, you often have sort of on one side, say the architectural designer or architect, and then you have on the other side of the design equation kind of the interior designer. And what I want to do is sort of basically create a company that would be both architectural design and interior, and work collaboratively, from the design side of things, and provide that complete design service to a client. So there isn't a passing over or now you got your home design, now go to an interior designer and they have to do their work. And it's sort of this sort of a stutter, and a kind of a dropping of the ball, I think, and it's not the ideal way to do it. But again, just because of how the way the industries work, sort of typically set up, it just seems like there's architectural design firms and then interior designers. Then you got to go find a builder, and then don't forget about the engineer, and so it's kind of it's not fragmented. It's just we're all separate entities, and we typically work really well together, but we don't have that true kind of interaction and kind of like in architectural designer and an interior designer working together on a project. We kind of work in different silos or in different areas. So that's one of my goals, is to kind of take out that frustration for some clients and provide a one-stop shop. I think that's one of the things is also kind of obviously company growth. So I'd love to bring on a few more people, intermediate and senior designers and draftsmen, and be able to take on more volume as a company. Connect with other custom home designers and renovators. Become established and become one of the best designers in Calgary, if not Alberta, and again have that kind of reputation where we're very service oriented and really about becoming part of people's teams, like just working in collaboration with people, not being out there trying to look like we're the end all and be all, but really about without our designs are nothing unless a builder comes along and actually builds it, or a client builds it himself or whatever. So really it's just designs on paper until we realize that, hey, we have to work together as an industry to actually make have something come to fruition. So
right.
All that to say, I think there's a lot of opportunity in the next 10 years. I think it's going to be a challenge for a lot of us in this industry with real estate where it is, but I think there's opportunities. I think for us, I think we've got a lot of internal processes to work on, and there's little tweaks here and there that we can become better at. But I've got really good staff, and I'm really proud of what we've accomplished. But I know we can get better, and I'm excited to see how things are changing over the next few years.
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm looking forward to your guys' growth as well. So
thank you.
I appreciate your time being on the podcast.
My pleasure.
Where can the listeners connect with you online? Is there any?
My wife does all my social media, so hopefully I don't get this wrong, but they could take a look at our website at basically it's beginwithdesign.com. I believe our Instagram, which is probably the best place to take a look at any work, is at Ellergodt Design. So that's ELLERGODT Design. I think that's probably the best stuff. You could probably find me on LinkedIn. Don't care about that much. So, but yeah, if it's there, if you want to reach out and have any questions, I'd love to hear from people. And again, thanks so much for the opportunity. It was a lot of fun trying to answer your questions.
It was fun, yeah. Lots of wisdom you imparted. So,
excellent.
I'm sure our listeners will enjoy that. And I guess we like to end the podcast with maybe a question you have for the audience, or maybe a phrase, or maybe a story, anything.
Yeah. I'll give you a quick story from the Renovation show.
All right.
I know my business coaches really challenged me in these shows. After a conversation, you got to ask for your contact info, and let me get back to you, and when can we set up a meeting? So really intentional, kind of the sales thing. I'm more I just want to answer people's questions and say, hey, here's my card, give me a call, and really low pressure. So anyway, with all that said, I had a couple come to the booth, and we had a very good conversation about a possible renovation that they want to do, and I asked them, can I get your contact info to so I can get a hold of you in the next week or two, and we could have a no obligation meeting and get together and see if it's a fit, and throw around some ideas about your renovation. And they based, no, but we will take your card. And I was like, okay, well that's good. At least I tried, and kind of put it into the conversation. They took off and saw the rest of the home show, and didn't really think about them that much until about 45 minutes later. I was having a conversation with someone. I kind of look over to the desk where my fill-out forms are, my client contact forms, and this couple came back and started filling out the form, to give me their contacts. And I guess my question is either I was just so I was thinking, wow, that's cool. What did I do? Like, did something happen in the last 45 minutes? Like, was I just the right laid back, or did I, like, did I not pressure them too much and they kind of thought like, so I'll throw that out there to people, like anyone in sales or anyone with more experience or better at this sales side than I am, like, any experiences like that where people will go, oh, that's happened to me, and I think it was because of that, because I thought, hey, I'd like to implement that. Because I asked for their contact, but they kind of didn't feel comfortable at the time, and then like, hey, here they are back. It was like a nice surprise, but it was like, oh, that's weird. Like, I could not figure out why. So if someone has some feedback on that, that'd be pretty cool. I'd implement that into my very detailed, non-existent sales process.
Sales strategy.
Yeah, sales strategy.
Well, Brent, I really appreciate your time. I'm sure our listeners will get a good kick out of this episode.
Thank you very much.